Everything's recording. Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Final score begins in 3, 2, 1.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
This is the final score, episode 164 for Wednesday, July 16th, 2014. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Final Score, the video game podcast for the rest of us. My name is Scott Johnson, and I am joined by Nicole Spag. Hello, Nicole.
That is me. Hello, Scott
That is
Johnson.
you. And Brian Dunaway. Hello, Brian.
That is me.
That is you. How are you?
What
I
are we
am fine.
doing?
Thank
The worst
you for
podcast ever.
asking.
That's what this is. When people do that, when they go, hello, what was your week like? Oh, it was good.
Beep, bop, boop, boop.
How is the weather?
Beep, bop, boop.
It is hot as hell.
And now we will play Excite Bike. Not really. We're not playing that. Welcome to the show. It's good to be back. It's, like I said, episode 164, and that's cool because it rhymed with, how did it go? With final score, right? 164 of the final score. See? How often do we get to do that? Not very. It won't be until, let's see.
174?
174, I guess every 10.
Right. It will be. It's so rare. How have you not did that before this? You probably have.
Yeah.
Somebody go back, listen to 154, 144, and find out.
Sure. And then we'll see you in 10 episodes, everybody. We'll do this again. Let's do this again. 10 weeks. 10 weeks.
I'll meet you back here in 10
Yeah, I'll
minutes.
see you in 10 weeks. All right. Hey, let's talk about games that we've played this week. Oh, yeah. What are you playing? I played video games,
Yeah.
and they are the following. A lot of WoW. For, I don't know why.
what's
well,
WoW?
I know why. I know exactly why. I'm on that.
Spectacular.
Yes, but it's that cycle I get into.
Yeah.
So it's right around now that I start getting stoked for a new expansion, and that's coming later this year, and the beta's out, and I played the beta, and I have seen what's in there, and I really, really like what's going on in there a lot. So weirdly, though, I don't want to play too much of the beta because I don't want to see everything, right?
Right.
And what it did was drove me back to just working on my characters, and I boosted a mage like some kind of weirdo to 90, and been playing him, been playing GURP, and raided twice since we last talked, and kind of back in like I usually am. Like I had to have a little break, everyone does, and then you come back. You always come back to the one you love.
Gotta come back.
It's fun, though.
I was playing this week too. But I think when I go to Nerdtacular and we talk about WoW and
Sure.
we see guild member, our guildies there, I get in that zone of I need to go back and play.
I know, isn't that
'cause-
weird? It's totally weird.
No, it's not weird. It's like family.
I guess
It's
so.
Shared experiences. I mean, how many times can you say you've gone to a distant, far place and they know exactly what you're talking about, and you have this shared experience?
That's
It's
a
kinda
good point.
cool.
Yeah,
It doesn't exist in the real world.
I agree. Plus, there's Blizzard people there, and they get
Yeah.
you excited about the things they're working
Exactly.
on. Yeah. Start thinking about BlizzCon, like all these things adding up.
BlizzCon?
Yeah, BlizzCon will be great, like always. So, yeah, I'm kind of back in. I also played a bunch of Diablo stuff because this week marks the finale of season 1 of the Diablo show. So if you're listening to that show and you like it, then check out this Saturday's episode because that ends this 12-episode arc of season 1. And it was a ball. So I've been running a lot of rifts trying to get stuff. And I've been doing kind of terribly. I ran like 4 rifts in a row and got 1 legendary ring that I ended up just sharding because it was poop. So I'm not happy with my drops right now.
You sharded it? Is that
I
is that the
sharded
proper
it.
term?
Shard with a D is the term.
I
Anyway,
sharded
so that's going on, playing a lot of rifts. But yeah, a lot of Blizzard stuff. And I'm still working my way through Original Sin, Divinity Original Sin, which is the third in the Divinity series. And we talked a ton about it last week. I won't go into too much more detail, but that game's pretty cool. I am running into one problem, and that is it is very discover as you go kind of game. There is no hand-holding. It's very old school in that way. And in a way, that's good because I kind of miss that time where you were just thrown into a world and there was a lot of detail to uncover and figure stuff out on your own. And but another part of me says, ooh, I have limited time. Where's the guy with a question mark over his head, you know?
Right.
So,
last week you guys both, said, "Hey, guess what, Brian? We got this game," and I was like, "I didn't get the game." Well, one of our great listeners, Sasha, sent me the game.
What game?
What game?
Original Sin.
What?
Oh,
Nicole doesn't have that, I don't think.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
No.
What the hell are you talking about, boy?
I thought you said you had it. What you talking about, boy? What is this?
I never said I had it.
I thought you had it last week. What did you play last week that you and Scott both had that I didn't have?
I don't know. Look at the tab. Let's look.
Yeah, we have
look
this
back.
thing called show notes.
Let's see.
Shut
we
up.
both
Shut up,
played
Nicole. Smack talk.
Towerfall. No. Wolf Among
I
Us.
swore you said you had the same thing.
No, I remember talking to Scott about
You had a lot of questions about it.
Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
we
yeah,
were
we talked about
Baldur's
that.
Gate and kind of that whole thing.
Yeah, how
Oh.
you had tried to pick up Baldur's Gate HD,
Yeah,
and you were talking
right.
about how the graphics and stuff just weren't doing it for
Right.
you.
Maybe it was a dream. Maybe I just have like
It's
this
okay.
horrible,
It's entirely
deep-seated
possible.
jealousy
Yeah.
of Nicole and your Scott's relationship. It's like, okay.
Well, I'll give
You're
you this.
bonding over this game.
I'll give you
Doesn't
an example of where this game gets weird. So I go out of the gates of the city because I think I'm supposed to go a certain direction, but I don't really know. And I go out there, I'm trying to find a cave, and I'm dealing with some stuff, and my perception levels are way too low because I'm not seeing these traps that are everywhere. So I keep having a quick save because I'm blowing up on these traps, like they're exploding, they're like landmines, and I don't see them, and it's because I put too much points in other stuff, and I should have put some perception points on one of my characters so he would at least see them, and then I could avoid them. So I'm kind of having this fight with myself, and I get sidetracked, and I don't know where I'm actually going, and I end up kind of over this little ridge, and I walk into an area where there are like 20 dudes and like 20 more wild boars, and they all want to kill me, and it puts me into combat mode. And so that's fine if I'm geared or powered for it or whatever, but I'm clearly not. I mean, there's 100 things to kill me. And
Right.
I go in there and all you can do is just run away. Like, well, how the hell did I get here? So the game doesn't appear to have it's not very linear, so you don't really have a gate somewhere that says don't go beyond here unless you're level whatever. It's an old school way of playing an RPG on a PC.
Does that ever happen in World of Warcraft either? Because how many times I've ended up in wrong places, just running
Yeah,
around.
but that's just because okay, Brian, maybe here's the answer. This game may be for you because those limits in WoW, for example, or in an MMO where you know that the next zone over is going to be level 50 and you're only in a level 20 zone.
Right. I don't know that.
Well, yeah, but you could tell that pretty easily. You look at the map and you hover over it and it says levels 50 to 61 or whatever.
Oh, have they always had that?
Yeah, it's always been there.
That is not.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
You serious?
In the map mode, yeah.
How
the
many
map view.
times I've ran through little areas and I'm like,
well, you
run
only
along the road,
if
and all
you-
of a sudden it's like,
if you're doing that, you got to hover. You can also hover over the creatures with your mouse, and it'll tell you what level they are. So,
Right.
and if they're well beyond your
I've
level,
done
they
that.
might be like
I
a
can
skull.
I usually see that, but it's usually too late. It's like all skull bones. I'm screwed
No,
because I can't outrun them.
I remember the early days, and there would be a thing where you'd be doing a bunch of quests and going, I wonder what's just right over that hill, and then you just get curious.
Right.
I feel like this game's good for the curious, except for when you run into a thing that's way stronger than you and just wipes your party. And there's really no way to know necessarily. There's some hover over and see what their skills and hit points are and stuff, but sometimes it's a mystery. Sometimes you don't know what their resistances are, so your fire has no effect on that guy, so you just waste 3 turns trying to burn him without knowing that, but now you've learned it, but because you're a turn behind, he's strong enough that he's, killed your healer and taken your wizard down to a quarter life, and there's a lot of this sort of rough and tumble, learn as you go kind of thing going on. I am not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it's actually probably a good thing. I think it serves the game.
This sounds like the fight I had with Al Gore.
Oh, you had a fight. Oh, yeah. I heard about that in the Stick of Truth. Yeah, totally. That's
okay, that's right. Yeah.
yeah. Brian's like, you mean the real Al Gore? What happened there? Yeah, they invented the internet.
He was spamming my Facebook page. And I
Oh,
had
good.
to kick his ass.
When you love that. He's man bear pig. Is that his whole thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Sorry, I didn't mean to say.
it's
Couldn't
kind of
bother
like
myself.
one of those moments where you're like, should I even be here yet? Should I have grinded out something somewhere else, or should I go to another place? Definitely that's happening, and that happens in Skyrim. It kind of happens everywhere in games that are this open,
You think you're awesome.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to take on everything. And then you're like, oh, I'm not so awesome. I
Not
better
so
go over
awesome.
here.
Got to go back to wherever. It's just they're not holding your hand. Now, some people see that as a problem. Some people see that as a great success. I see it as only a problem because it can kill time. And I don't have a ton of time right now. So when I'm in the middle of a fight like that, I'm like, okay, 4th attempt, and this is still not working. I have to go get some other stuff done, and I have to get out of the game. Mm-hmm. So I run into that a lot. If I was like 22 and sitting on my A all day, this is all I would do.
Because what 22-year-olds do. Because
that's what they do.
Surely they couldn't be busy getting a job or anything.
Well, they should
like
be.
that.
But even if they do, what do they got to do on their Saturday all day when they're off, their day off?
Can you shake your fist and talk like an angry old man one time?
Get off my lawn, damn it. Get off my lawn. So, yeah, I played more of that, and it's fun. It's good, and are we gonna play some multiplayer? Because I was looking at that. It's co-op, yeah. It's co-op. We should play co-op. You want to do co-op?
Yeah. Let's do some.
Let's do some video. I think it's only. Is it only 2-man co-op? I don't actually know.
I would think so because you only have a party of 2.
Well, you can have more. I have a third. I have a third guy now.
I get a third party.
I think you can have up to 4 dudes, but I don't know if they all can play online. I think that may just be 2 online and then 2 companions. I don't know that for sure though. Someone in the chat room will know.
Someone will know.
Hopefully.
We'll know next.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep plugging through that because it is kind of my kind of game. So I'm gonna keep at it. And then I played a little Marvel Heroes 2015, and you're asking yourselves, wait a minute, what's Marvel Heroes 2015? I've heard of Marvel Heroes, but what's Marvel Heroes 2015? Well, it's same game, whole bunch of updates, big improvements, but their way of getting a new listing on Metacritic so that now that the game's polished and fixed all of its issues, and these games are often works in progress. Right. Now they can get new reviews, and they'll be much higher than they basically game the system.
Smart.
I think it's really smart.
Yeah.
I think it's smart because here's the problem. If you put out a game, Metacritic is almost made for games that were made in the early 2000s or late 90s. When you put out a game, and that's all there was. There were no patches, no updates. You just put out a game. Here's Mario Kart 64. That's the game. That's all you get. Enjoy yourself. It was never like, patch 2.3 coming down the road. Got a big DLC. Right. That didn't exist. So Metacritic is great for that period of time when it didn't exist, which is funny. But had it existed, it would have been perfect because these games weren't going to be updated, so the review was really final, right? Mm-hmm. Today, you put out an MMO or an action RPG like this one or a million other kinds of games that are evolving, living creatures of updating because that's the nature of the games. Like imagine if WoW just never had an update. Well, what the hell good would that game be? So, but you've still got your just one review on Metacritic and your one score at the end of the day.
X-Play reviews for the win.
Well, everybody's reviews for the win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I'm saying in the 90s where I got my reviews.
Oh, right.
Was the extended play TV show. Remember that?
Sure.
I remember that.
Yeah, no, I remember that show. But
the problem where I went.
But that show still had a problem, same as the magazines or anything else. Scores were final. Mm-hmm. I like what Polygon does where they'll go, all right, initial review on, let's say, Battlefield 4 is we're only giving it a 6 out of 10 because we think there's problems. It's kind of broken. They come back 2 months later after a major patch, and they assess it again, and they add this new number to it, either lower or higher. It's not always higher, but sometimes higher, sometimes lower, and they adjust their meter up or down depending on the progress of the game. That needs to be the kind of thing we see moving forward for reviews because most games, not the exception, but the rule is that most games are getting updated and having content added and things removed and stuff changed all the time. And it's only fair for those games to get the kind of shake you would get with it.
So that's an interesting thing because Metacritic is like Rotten Tomatoes and the fact they've got critical reviews and they've got personal reviews by gamers. And
that's a funny name for those people, but go ahead. They're complete ding-dongs. When you say gamers, I know there's some in there, sure.
There's some in there.
But
how do they get in there?
They're mostly terrible, dude. You have to sign up and,
Okay.
Yeah, you got to make an account, whatever.
But, it's interesting because you do bring up a very interesting point. How do you gauge that? Because someone went and played a game initially and was just hated it. And it wasn't necessarily because of bugs or anything. They just didn't like the storyline or whatever. And they complained about a core game mechanic. Then do you just push that to the side when the update comes back? Because those people aren't going to come back. They're not going to come back and review the game
we don't care about the user thing. Sure, that's an interesting number, but I'm more interested in what the critics say. Like if you are a professional game reviewer and you had a problem with the thing at release, but it got much improved 2 patches later, I like the idea that you can come back, return to the experience, and report on what changed and if it really made it better or not. Like that.
I agree.
That should happen more. So, Brian, let me give you an example of one of these bright bulbs you're talking about here on Metacritic that like to leave user reviews. Here's a score of 4. The lowest
score.
The lowest score on The Wolf Among Us, which we all really enjoyed. Nicole loved. Which has an average score of 90 on Metacritic. But this guy thought it deserved a 4 and said this. His name is The Stomping Land. I don't like this game. Nowhere does it compare to TDW S1.
What?
He means The Walking Dead Season 1.
Oh, okay.
All these users are saying it's better than TDW. I think he meant TWD. No, it's not, for several reasons. This episode had a murderer revealed the way it did incredibly boring. And I expecting you to find the murderer through clues, but they don't. Any deaths are honestly too easy. I recommend Trois as those who like noir, but only to anyone. Did that make any sense?
It absolutely does not, but I love the fact that that's how you read. I know you do that mentally, too, on the inside. You read these during the show.
I'm reading that one as it's written, though. That's straight up the way that guy wrote it.
But I can just see you there in your room by yourself, not talking to anybody else, just reading those reviews, reading them very slowly, like a moron would.
I'm going to do an entire show that's nothing but reading Metacritic reviews. Coming to the Frog Pants Network soon. Watch for it.
Anyway,
real stupid. But so anyway, Marvel Heroes. That was my point. Marvel Heroes 2015 is still really fun. They've ironed out tons of issues the game used to have. Added a ton of new content. I'm still rolling with my Punisher, and it's fun. If you want a good action RPG, kind of Diablo style, that game's really fun.
Which Punisher did you get when you played that?
I just have the regular old Punisher. I didn't get the long coat one. I have the T-shirt and jeans one.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
He's the one I like. I've seen a lot of Iron Men today. I was in there today, and there's just Iron Men everywhere.
He's very popular.
Well,
everybody wants to be a drunk, rich millionaire.
You have to buy that one, so I guess you have to be an actual millionaire. Well, not really,
right?
But
you got to be super rich. This actually is. It's Tony Stark.
It's the most expensive. Well, at least it was last time I checked. The most expensive hero you can buy in the game.
Probably the most desirable hero too. There's probably reason why.
I don't really.
Maybe
you don't think so? I think
he probably is. He probably the Marvel. Okay, so if you're gonna play a Marvel game, and you have the choice of any hero in the Marvel universe, Nicole, who do you pick? Who do you go with? Who's your go-to?
Go ahead.
You go, Brian, because I'm still.
It's odd. It's going to sound stupid because our friend Dan Patrice is in the chat room, and he just said before he even asked the question, he picked the guy that I would pick because I love Nightcrawler. Back in the days of X-Men, he was always my favorite character.
Cool. Yeah, he's cool.
But
there's no way he's got the international draw that Iron Man does. That's my only point.
But Iron Man is still just human. It's not like he has, besides his armor. I can't believe we're having this discussion.
No, this is good. This is good because I always go. It's funny because I always err on the side of I prefer the human with no real powers, but a lot of really cool ideas. So I like the Punisher, for example. That's why I picked him. I would pick Iron Man, and I would pick Batman. This isn't a Marvel thing or a DC thing, but if Batman's the same thing, I always lean toward the heroes who are smart, rich, and have cool gadgets, but don't have any actual powers. I don't know why I do that, but I do.
I'm with Iceworm in the chat room. I would go with Captain America.
Yeah, he's in there.
It's so lame. Who would want to be?
No, he's good in this game. His shield stuff is badass. He's really good. Yeah.
He's such a straight edge. He's like Superman in DC.
Oh yeah, he's totally that. Are you kidding? That's where he came from.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's lame.
And he's like powerful.
How could you? How are you saying that he's lame? Are you really saying he's lame?
You're lame.
Captain America is awesome. He's more Superman right now than Superman is. But that happens all the time. Everything's a ripoff of DC rips off Marvel. Marvel rips off DC. It's just the way it is. Like, who do you think Hawkeye is? He is a ripoff of Green Arrow.
So a ripoff.
Who do you think? Who else? Captain America, Superman, Batman, and Black Panther are the same character basically.
Right. Who is the Solomon Grundy? He's like the Hulk, right? Is that kind of
like evil Hulk? Yeah.
Right.
Basically. There are others, that you can compare, but whatever. It's fun. If you like Marvel at all, then you really would like this. Even if you don't, I think there's a fun game there, even if you're not a big superhero dude. And that's all I played. Brian, tell us about Heroes Rise, Hero Fall.
Heroes Rise, Hero Fall. Okay, this is a game that I saw on the demo section of Steam.
I'm shocked.
I'm
shocked
because I like demos.
Really?
I know,
really,
right? Nicole, I don't even know who this is. Who's this we have?
Who is this?
Yeah, who are you? What have you done with the Brian we know?
All right, so I would saw this a few weeks back, and I was interested until I clicked on the screenshots, and I noticed there were no graphics other than text.
Really?
And I was like, what is this? I'm like
Zork,
this is,
kind of Zork style. Okay,
like, what is this game? It's got no graphics in it. Then I realized it's a create your own adventure kind of game.
Text adventures.
It's a text adventure, but you remember those PC games back in the day always had text adventures, but they had like little, still shots of, maybe the Incredible Hulk was the story you was playing, but there was usually like at least a little bit of graphics. This is all
depends on the game.
Like
the Zork games, they were all straight text, and that was
this
it.
is true. This is true.
Yeah.
But this is very straight up. It almost looks like a web form or something. I feel like I'm filling out a web form because they'll get down to the little radial buttons. You got to choose which way you'll go. But basically, you're a. I don't want to give too much away about the story because the story's great.
And it's pretty much everything, right? Like the story's everything in that game.
Right. Exactly. Let's just say you start out in the next century, and there has been a rise in people being born with superpowers, and you live in this city full of superheroes.
Are you one too, or are you just a normal?
I don't want to give that away because there's some choices you can make that may or may not influence that thing. So every choice you make changes things, and you have to specify your gender. You have to specify. You can choose your name, which is pretty cool because it's fun. I put my own name in there and now I'm in the story, and so you also do that, and you can you have to decide your sexual preferences too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you got to decide.
What'd you choose, Brian? What'd you choose? What do you like there?
Well, it was very tempting. There was male, female, and then both. Yeah. And I was like, surely there must be another choice here somewhere.
There's only bisexual or standard gender stuff. That's it.
Right. I don't. Yeah. So I guess I don't know how it would determine if you were same-sex related or what. But anyway, I guess you have to.
They should give you the option. Is what they should have done. If they're gonna, if they're gonna give you that at all, you may as well give you all the options. Right?
I think I said that backwards. Actually, what they give you is your preference. They ask you whether you're into men or women or both.
Oh,
so you don't
got it.
Define what gender you are. You define what gender
what you're into.
Yeah, you just know I've always told you guys I'm a man trapped in a lesbian's body. I'm basically a lesbian. I really like the chicks.
That's what you're into.
I really like the ladies, so I'm just a male lesbian, really.
So I was curious with this game, so because we're talking about curiosity, and so I went through real quick one time, and I just kind of chose straight up what I would normally choose. Hey, I'm into women, sure. What's my name, Brian? What's your character's superpower? Flying, I don't know. So anyway, so I went through that way.
Seducing the ladies.
Seducing the X-ray vision.
Yeah.
And so, all right, so I went through real quick, and then I popped back in, and I said, okay, what if I had made some different decisions? The story still kind of falls along the same path, so I saw a lot of the same things. But I decided to get involved with the fight this time instead of breaking it up. I was much more omnipresent. What's the word I'm looking for? I was more. So I was kind of outside a little bit is how I was playing it the first time. But the second time I played it really hands-on. But the story is really kind of well written. I mean, it's simple.
How far did you get?
And demo's worth, of course. Yeah. I didn't quite finish the demo because I doubled back and played through. But it was I probably played at least a good 30, 45 minutes.
Choose your own adventure stuff is making a comeback in various forms. It'll be interesting to see what's next in that way because it's hard. It's hard to do that right. And I wrote. By the way, this is funny because when I was in junior high, I guess we had an Apple II, and I wrote my own choose your own adventure text adventure game, and it actually had some graphics in it. So like if it was a space one, right? So I was a space man, and at one point you had to warp to another planet. So I wrote one of those like Starfield simulations. So when you would warp to other planets, the stars would come at you from the screen and create like this fake warp thing, and then kind of Star Wars style, and then it would stop and say, "You have entered the planet's atmosphere. Will you land the ship or will you engage the alien vessel?" Like all these choices, and these choices had different. I mean, in the end, it was probably super linear, like choose A or B, and that was it. But at the time, I used to be so enamored with that whole idea. And
I still
love it. It's fun.
I had a lot of fun. It's only $2.99, so there was no sense in me not getting the full version, and I probably will get this, but I'm already reading Console Wars. I'm actually listening to that.
How's the reviews on this? I mean, people like it generally. This game.
This game, it seems to be doing all right. The people, but there's people who like choose your own adventure games are very excited, but other people are going, "What the crap? What's going on?
What the hell is this?
Where's the graphics? I don't get it."
Where's the graphics? Nice.
So yeah, I played the demo of that, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna play a real game.
Yeah.
So I downloaded Haunt the House Terror Town, and so what do you do in this game? At first, it looked like kind of like that PB Winterbottom kind of art style first, but it wasn't black and white; it was in color, and so it intrigued me instantly with the visual look of it.
I am intrigued by this.
I am intrigued, and so I was like, "All right, I'll plop down the $5." So what you are is you're a ghost, and you're in this town.
Ghost Town.
Ghost Town, and there's apparently only 4. This is a very short game, so if you're listening to this and you're thinking about buying Haunt the House.
What happened? Casey, you there? Oh my gosh. Hold on. What? Okay. What? Hello? Can anyone hear me? Shite. What is going on?
Hello?
Hello? I don't know what happened. Skype sucks.
Did you hang up on me?
Skype sucks. They have this add people
It's
to the
okay.
group thing. So when Casey calls, I'm
Right,
supposed to be able
right.
to add him and just have it go, and it didn't work. It wants to put you guys on hold and totally
It works for me. I did that earlier today.
I do it all the time, and suddenly the last 2 days it won't work. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know.
sorry, Brian.
Anyway.
Continue. Your own
Okay, so, all right,
adventure. You're choosing it.
Haunt the House. I don't know if you heard me or not, but I said don't buy it just yet until you hear the full review.
All right.
It is a very short game.
Yeah.
That's what I. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
cute. It looks really cute, but it's short.
It's very short. It should be more like maybe $2 instead of $5. But anyway, it is
How short? Like 2 hours short? Hour? Half hour?
30 minutes.
Oh, that's short.
Brian put through this game in 30 minutes. I recorded the whole thing. It's on YouTube.
That says a lot, dude.
It's even less
It
than a
does.
demo.
Yeah.
Right? Even less than the demo.
This is a
all right,
demo of a demo of a demo.
But the idea is cute. But I can, you know what? I'm kind of glad it didn't go any longer than 30 minutes. And I'm going to tell you why here. Because what you do is you're a ghost and you're trying to scare everybody out of the different buildings. There's 4 different buildings in this game in this small town, and so there's these little characters, little people running around, and you fly over as a ghost, and you possess different objects in the room. Different objects have different things that you can do with it. With like maybe a table, you kind of walk back and forth once you possess it, or maybe you got like a bottle of wine, you can pop a cork. Anyway, what you're doing is you're possessing these items so that you can scare people that's in the house, and you're supposed to run them all out of the house. Now you're also supposed to be collecting family members that are apparently, I don't know if they're possessing other people or if they're just kind of stuck in limbo, but you have to basically kill them with the objects. And then they go back to your home where it says in the bell tower, and you know that you've collected them because their soul flies away. And once their soul flies to the bell tower, you can go back to the bell tower and you can become that ghost.
Yeah.
So you would think that, oh wow, this is a lot of fun. It's got a lot of variation, but there's a lot of repetitiveness to it too, because it's very repetitive, because you'll possess an object, and to really affect the people around it, you have to trigger that item a whole bunch of times. So if you're like a little bell ringing on a table to spook people, you have to ring the bell like about 20 times. And as you do that, there's a room atmosphere, and it keeps increasing with terror. And as it gets high enough, you can get different abilities for that thing. So the next level may be you can throw the bell, but the audio can get very annoying.
I think your review of this game is probably longer than the game, right?
I think it probably is. It is
Nicely
definitely
said.
longer than the game.
Nicely said.
Very good, Nicole.
That was pretty good. That was
So
pretty
yes,
damn
dude.
good.
But this is not bad. It's a fun game.
It's
It looks
okay.
cute. I like
The music is a lot of fun.
Is it?
The music is a lot of fun, and like I said, it reminded me a lot of PB Winterbomb, but not in black and white.
Is it as fun as the music that I'm about to play here, which is this? I doubt it. Hey, that music can only mean one thing, and that is the triumphant, long-awaited return of Casey Banta to the program. Casey, hello.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how'd you like sitting there listening to that whole review of Haunted 30-Minute Mansion, man? What'd you think of that?
Brian can ring my bell anytime.
That's
he
right.
wants.
That's right.
That's sweet.
That's right, he can. Gross. So, hey, Casey, it's good to have you back on the show. It's been a while, man. You doing all right? Busy, are you?
Yeah, doing all right.
Yeah. Missed you at
found some
Nerdtacular
time.
this year, you know. We
La
missed you.
la 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 la. Nothing happened a couple of weekends ago. that
I know. We've had you there many times, and you would have fit right in, of course, like you always do, and we missed you. So, so too bad, so sad, as the kids say. But we'll look forward to seeing you in the future. However, you come today bearing a quiz, some sort of game trivia thing for a game none of us remember what we picked. So what was it?
Ooh, yeah.
The game is Frisky Tom.
Oh yeah, I picked it.
Oh.
Cool, because I got a story about this. I promised I'd tell the story at the end of this, whatever you do. So I'm ready. Well, let's hunker down. Frisky Tom. This is who made it? Nichiren Butsu, whatever their names are. Japanese company. They also made Crazy Climber. I love these guys. They were awesome. Anyway, tell me the trivia. I'm ready. My body is ready.
All right. Ground control the Frisky Tom. Fix the pipes so you can get it on.
All right.
Here we go.
I thought you were going to continue with that.
I did
That
too.
was
I was
impressive.
I was hoping the whole thing is going to be like
Please finish this.
an opera. But go ahead.
All right. In Frisky Tom, your job as the namesake protagonist is to fix some plumbing and get water to the shower for your frisky lady.
Yes. This is true.
A team of mice try to interfere with your plans by stealing or blowing up pipes. Oh, and some of them bite too.
Yeah, they do.
What color are the bitey mice?
Oh my gosh. I might actually be able to do this. Go ahead.
Right. Is it A, purple, B, white, C, green, or D, yellow?
You know, I had an initial thought. Who goes first?
Yeah, who picks first?
Well, Scott goes last.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
So suck it, Johnson.
That's fine.
Can I say yellow? Because that was my initial first brain cell
You can
response.
say whatever you want.
Was yellow.
Yeah.
go with it.
So we're saying what color they are, right?
Yeah, what color they are.
Are there multiple answers or just one answer?
There is one answer.
I'll say white.
Okay.
Oh, I got to be white, Nicole.
Yellow and white. I think Brian's right. I think it's yellow. That's my memory of it, but I could remember this wrong, and Nicole's probably right. But I'll say yellow as
Sure,
well.
I'm not.
It's definitely not green. I know it's not green. Oh, if it turns out to be green, this is going to be embarrassing. So we.
Well,
have
Scott-
two stories.
So Nicole says white. Brian says yellow. I say yellow.
Okay. Well, Scott, there are no green mice in Frisky Tom.
Yay!
So-
See, good thing.
right.
I know what I'm doing.
None of you said purple. And purple is the correct answer.
Ah! Really?
Stupid brain cells.
The game had like 4 colors anyway total, which is what is funny about what I'm going to tell you here. So that game, we had a big stand-up version in my house. My dad ran arcades, and that was what, my teenage life was surrounded by arcade games. That's why I love video games. Anyway, had this arcade game in the basement, and we didn't know this at the time, but the Japanese version of the game and the U.S. version of the game, they had one key difference, and it was a toggleable thing. You could go onto the main board and toggle this thing on or off, but it was whether or not when the water ran out after you did all your Frisky Tomness, fixing pipes and everything, after every level, it'd be a picture of her in the tub, and after each level, the bubbles would be down a little bit more, revealing more of her, right? So the more you got through the levels, the more naked supposedly she would be. In the U.S. toggle, she was in a bikini, a red bikini. In the Japanese version, she's buck naked.
Buck naked?
So my Korean brother switched it to Japanese, and that was our little secret. We didn't tell anybody else about it. And I am talking like the worst graphics ever, like crappy 2-color garbage, but it still seemed really saucy to us.
So what else changed when they turned it in Japanese? Did you have to read all the instructions in Japanese?
No, there was a setting for the language as well, but you could separately turn on or off the naked setting. And that was the difference between the US version and the Japanese version. Japanese version you just turned off, you censored it or you didn't. Here you could do the language and censor it or not.
No, back in the day you used to have to like switch dip switches. So was there like a big red sign that said don't switch this?
No, you just had a sheet that came with the machine. I mean, these are like $4,000 these machines, right? And in there were instructions on how all the different dip switches, and you just know which dip switch to do. So we knew which ones were free play. We knew which ones were, speed up the graphics or change the colors. They had all that kind of stuff. But you just had to flip these 2 switches to get the nudie lady, and it was super dumb. I mean, that's how you know you're like 12, because you just think anything. Oh, look at that, right. But it was so dumb. Like it may as well have been this. It may as well be this pretzel I'm looking at. There's nothing sexy about this pretzel. Right. And there was nothing sexy about this terrible.
You've probably seen Lex Pissy.
Less
pixelated stuff on scrambled porn, probably.
My name is Lex Pixie.
Lex Pixie.
Anyway, I'm glad we picked that one because I have memories of it. It's good to bring them up. So there you have it. Nicely done. Who's picking now?
Awesome. Let's go with Nicole.
All right. So I'm not sure if we've picked this one or if it's been an old school pick, but let's try Hogan's Alley.
Hogan's Alley.
Yeah,
it's the one that wasn't Duck Hunt.
Right. Well, I think we've done Duck Hunt.
Have we done Duck Hunt?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure we have.
I don't think we have, but yeah, let's do the other Zapper game.
The other Zapper game.
I could have sworn we'd done Duck Hunt. I guess not. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Because I thought you gave us one where it was like, how many ducks rise up in the air when you're done hunting them or whatever?
That would have been a fascinating quiz.
Wouldn't it have been? Most assuredly. All right. Well, there you have it. It is Casey Bant on Twitter. Casey, it's always fun having you on, man.
Yay.
It's always fun being on.
I'm glad you're back. Oh, look at this Frisky Tom album art. Not album art, cover art. Fan-freaking-tastic. Look at that stupid little guy. Although, I wouldn't do a Google image search for the term Frisky Tom, by the way. Good heavens.
Add video game to the end.
Wow, yeah, put arcade or something in there, because otherwise, let's just say there's a series of films with the same name, and it may not be what you're into, if you know what I'm getting at. All right, Casey, stay out of trouble, man, and we'll talk to you later, all right?
Okay.
Bye now. Bye, Casey. All right, Skype, let's see if you're not stupid now. Did that work? Everyone can hear me still?
Yeah, you're still here.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm still here. You're still here.
All right. We're all still here. Get used to it.
All right, after Brian's long-ass review on Haunt the House, Terror Town.
Yeah. Where else are you there? You got the Monument Valley there?
I picked up the Monument Valley a while back, and I just never had a chance to play it. So
I have it on the iPad as well. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. And so I got some. I picked up some Kindle Fire HDs for like $50. So I said, well, let's play something on this thing.
$50. Wow.
Yeah, $50, not bad. And so Andreas has been, he was at Nerdtacular and Andreas Ekberg, and he made a little totem from that. Did you guys get a chance to take a look at that?
I did. Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's a huge fan of that game.
He's not only a huge fan of the game, they're a huge fan of his. If you go to Monument Valley's website, they have him featured on the front page.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
your story.
Cool.
Look at everybody doing their
Look
thing.
at him doing his thing.
Yeah.
So I actually completed 2 games this week, Haunt the House, Terror Town, and Monument Valley. Both super short games, and people complain because there's only 10 levels in the stupid Monument Valley, which I wish there was more.
Yeah. Don't we all? Though?
Yeah. And of course, I played Divinity Original Sin, played it for just a few minutes, and I would really like to get on that this weekend.
Yeah. Play some more of that. Tell me what you think.
Get on it.
Yeah. Get on that.
Get on it.
Get on up it.
And that's what I've been playing.
Nicole, what are you doing with your achievement hunting? Wow, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, so the FERT raid, they went out into Alduar, and we did a whole bunch of achievement.
Oh, that's right. I saw you guys on. I saw you guys on there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Dang it! I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I have the mount from in there, but
it was
I
a
don't,
25. Yeah.
Yeah,
25 man.
I'm missing some of the other stuff that happened in there.
I was surprised. I had a few of them already, so I'm like, when did I do those?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No,
but it was
cool.
a lot of fun. That group is awesome.
Yeah, they're
So,
fun to hang out with.
Yeah, I need to do that more often.
Yeah.
I'm still playing South Park Stick with Truth, like I said at the top of the show.
Yeah.
I've gotten past the alien probes.
Good.
I've gotten over the alien.
Gotten all past it.
So I now have this ability where a device shoots out my butt, and I can move my guy into like different areas, like higher up. So it's
Like
so
that?
wrong. It's so wrong. So much farting.
Yeah.
So much.
They're into that.
everything.
They're
it's
into that.
hilarious. I can't. I feel like a 13-year-old boy playing that game.
Yeah. The game has that power.
It's a lot
over
of
us.
fun, and I really enjoy the gameplay. Like
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy it. And like, you're picking up different party members. So I picked up Butters is probably my favorite, but you can also bring in Princess Kenny and then Stan.
Princess Kitty.
Yeah,
Because
because it's all fantasy based. I mean,
right.
the elves against the humans.
Right.
It's a really fun game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. And then I picked up a game on the iOS that just came out on just recently called Ingress. Have you heard of this game?
Ingrid?
INGRESS.
Oh, Ingress.
Ingress.
Ingress. No. Ingrich. I've heard somebody say I don't speak good Ingrich before, but I've never heard of Ingress. What the hell is it?
So it's a massive multiplayer location based game. It's really weird because you have to walk around, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it because I really don't leave my house that often.
Yeah.
But you go in and you have to pick a faction.
Mm-hmm.
You can either pick the Resistance or you can pick the Enlightened, and then you find these portals, and I'm still trying to understand it. Like I said, I think it's meant if you're walking and going places and doing things like that, because it takes your it takes your actual location.
Oh,
And it
that's cool.
shows you all these sources of energy.
Oh, I remember hearing about this. Yep,
yeah,
yep,
it's been on the Android for a while, and it just came out on iOS.
Whoa, Android got something first? When's that happened before?
And you connect to your Google account, so it's
Nice.
a Google augmented reality game.
Is
So
Google
Weird.
mapping
It's
the
so
world
weird.
while I'm playing this game?
Of course they
Because
are.
if they're using me to map,
Of course
They
they
do
are.
ask for a lot of
Bastards.
permissions. So I put a link in the chat room because I'm like, how the hell do I play this game? So I Googled how do I play Ingress.
so, right?
Because I wasn't sure how it worked. There's not a lot of instruction.
Mm.
So
That's the way
it's
Google
weird.
likes
It's a weird game.
Weird, but worth messing with. I mean, do you feel like
Just
you're...
try it out. Because I mean, you have a team and you're building your resources and you're going around to real world locations and claiming them. So if you like that kind of team atmosphere, maybe this is the game for you. I don't know I don't think it's a game for me because, like I said, I don't really go anywhere.
There's not a lot of portals in your living room. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
I'm looking at it and there's a bunch of energy sources next door, like to my neighbors, and
neighbor's house?
I'm like, I don't want to go visit my neighbor.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm playing Ingress.
So it's so weird. And I created a alliance on This Means War.
Yeah.
So I talked about This Means War last week. And Scott, you still haven't signed up for it.
No, I haven't. I downloaded it, though. I've got it.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it.
But you need to be, I think, at least level 3 to join an alliance. So once you're level 3, you can just search for the final score and ask to be part of our alliance. And we can, I think there's a way for us to go fight other alliances. But right now, what I'm using it for, you can request troops. So your team members can give you an extra burst of troops, and you can use those in a battle. Like you're like,
Wow,
oh
this
crap,
sounds-
something. It's a fun little game.
Yeah. Clash of Clans sounds totally like it.
It's
But that's-
yeah.
Is it also Supercell or is it somebody else?
No, I think it's somebody else. I don't think it's the same developer.
That reminds me, I'm going to try between now and the weekend to get some time with the World of Warcraft Garrisons feature that's part of the beta server, just so I can get a taste for it. But it's it's Clash of Clans in WoW, basically.
Right.
Very similar kind of deal. It's interesting to see that game type take off the way it has.
Yeah.
And influence other games and stuff. Well, that's cool. Very
I'm
nice.
having fun with
Ingress.
it.
There you have it.
Ingress, that this means war, and then tomorrow is the Destiny beta, and
Yeah.
I'm all prepared for that.
I'm pretty excited about that, except somebody told me they were sending me a key, and then he never sent it to me. He, in fact, he even said, hey, follow me, give me a DM. And I said, okay. And then and nothing. I think he was just trying to get me to follow him.
John Funk has an extra key.
Will you talk to Funk?
Yeah. He might be listening right now.
Hey,
So
Funk, send me a key, you bastard. I really like John Funk.
He's awesome.
He's one of my favorite people ever. All right. Well, there you have it. There's what we've been playing. And I don't see Dan.
Yay. I know he's in the chat room. Dan's here.
He is. He's here.
I'm trying to decide if I should add him or let Skype be dumb again. So I think I'll try to add him. That's what we'll do. Hold on.
Everybody, hold on to your butts.
Hold on, everybody. I got a trick here. Yeah, here we go. This will work. Add people to this call. Dan Patrice. Oh, he's not coming up. Is it Geek Blog, Jock Blog, or something?
He is.
Oh, there he is. I found it. Okay, we're adding Dan to the call. We're going to do it manually.
Dan is now running for his microphone.
Manual stimulation of Dan. We need some music, though. And his sounds like this. Intruder alert.
Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
It's Dan Patrice, everybody. Hey, man. What's going on?
It's a good thing you got Casey's question wrong.
Why is that?
If you got it right, the bubbles wouldn't be covering my Waka Waka anymore.
Waka Waka. His own personal Muppet. Dan is the man. He comes on here and talks about tabletop gaming and gives us ideas of things we can do non-electronically. You might need lights, but other than that, this stuff's pretty analog, and that's good because gamers like that stuff too. Dan, what is on the plate today?
So you can get the little social interaction with people face to face.
That's right. We don't do that enough, right?
Not nearly enough.
Yeah.
So do you remember last week we were talking about real social games where you can play with larger groups, and we were talking about Bang the Dice game.
Yeah.
Which we're talking about it as 8 players. You remember what I mentioned we were gonna talk about this week?
Crap.
Monopoly.
No.
The Resistance.
That was it. That was it.
Yep.
Everyone talks about that game.
About the Resistance now, and I'll tell you the little twist with the Resistance Avalon, which is another version of Resistance, which will be just real quick at the end. So the Resistance, another really big game that, and we'll just talk about it with 8 players again. We got to play this on the last night that we were at Nerdtacular. I got to play with Ice Worm, which was a lot of fun too. But I'll tell you about that in a minute. So what you do is you've got basically it's set in a future. So you've got kind of like this dystopian future where you've got, Big Brother has taken over the world, and we're the Resistance. So you've got 8 people, 5 of which are the good guys on the Resistance, and 3 of which are secretly the bad guys, working for the man.
Yeah.
So everybody gets a role at the beginning of the game, and now we're going to try to go on missions. So you got to try to complete 3 missions before the other team completes 3 missions. So you've got a leader. So let's just say I'm the leader, and the first mission we got to take 3 people. So I'll take myself, Nicole, and Brian. Now, everybody's trying to decide whether I should really take Brian because Scott really doesn't trust Brian.
No, I don't.
Which he shouldn't because he's part of the Resistance.
This is a little too close to home.
Yeah, this is all ringing real familiar here.
So the whole time everybody's trying to accuse everybody else of what they are, but only they really know. So as you bring people onto these little missions you're going on, then everybody votes to decide whether they agree with who should go on there. So that's just a simple majority. So if that passes, then I give out those 3. Myself, Brian, and Nicole will go on a mission, and I give everybody 2 cards. It'll either be like a pass or a fail. So everybody secretly chooses pass or fail. They give me one of those cards, put the other one away. I shuffle them up, and then I reveal. So usually the first one, when it's just 3 people, it almost always passes because it's pretty obvious that Dunaway is evil if he fails the first one. Even though we don't know it's him, but we know it's him.
Right.
So usually the first one passes. So then the second mission, you got to bring 4 of the 8 people, and you still need, you can't have any fails in these things in the first few missions. So
that's my life policy.
Yeah.
No fails.
It's a good one.
No fails.
It's a good
0
one.
fails.
Yeah.
So the whole time you're basically accusing everybody else. So I'm sitting here, it's a game, like I said, you can sit there and accuse your wife of being, an evil witch because she's on the other side, and she's not really punching me because the whole time
getting too close to home.
The whole time Ice Worm is sitting there real quiet, and I'm like, there's something up about him.
Yeah.
And he was just playing it out, and he was on the good side. I didn't trust him whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's just a fun time. I mean, the more you play it, the more you get used to it, and it's just you're just kind of voting everybody. I always I'm a big social guy, so I just kind of tell people just bring me. bring me. Every time they're like, well, are you saying that because you're good or because you're really bad trying to? So it's got that whole play.
I do like that. I do like a game where you can distrust people that in real life you totally trust. You know what I mean? Like it gives you a chance to just talk smack to people that normally you're totally cool with. Like in regular life, they've got your back, but in a game like this, they could screw you any minute.
So think about if we've got, you got nice little Nicole over there when really she's just waiting to stab us in the back.
Yeah.
You know it.
Bring her on a mission and she just fails that.
She will shoot
And
your
then she goes,
horse
no,
in the
it wasn't
face.
me. It was Dunaway. He
Don't
did it. It
let
wasn't me.
sweet little Nicole fool you. She'll get you.
Now, the Resistance Avalon, it's set in that whole, King Arthur universe.
Yeah.
So it's got some other roles you can take. So what's cool is you've got 5 guys, and one of which is Merlin. So at the beginning of the game, you say, okay, everybody close your eyes. Now, basically, the bad guys open your eyes. So the 3 bad guys will open their eyes and then look at each other. So they know who's on each other's team.
Oh.
So, and then you have the bad guys close your eyes. And then you have, all right, so bad guys now put up your thumbs. And now Merlin open your eyes. So Merlin knows who all the bad guys are. But here's the trick. At the end of the game, if the good guys win, the bad guys have 1 shot to kill Merlin. If they figure out who Merlin is, the bad guys actually win. So it's really sticky to know who the bad guys are because you can't really make it, you can't make it obvious that you know who the bad guys are.
And there's no way you can win. There's no way you can win unless you cheat by opening your eyes. Right?
Right?
Big gain.
So
Wow.
it
sounds like a ball,
totally
dude.
Fun games.
does.
Oh yeah, you guys
Sounds
would
like
love
fun.
this because just the laughter that ensues of just accusing each other. Just the most meek people that just don't talk much.
Sure.
They're just the ones that are turning their. Don't turn your backs on them because they're going to stab you right in the back.
Every time.
It gets amazing reviews on Amazon. 286 reviews, full 5 stars.
Wow. That's awesome. I could
Telling
use
you guys, next year
yeah.
I'll run a nice big table of this and we'll get it going.
Fun.
All right,
This
give
is
'em-
definitely an icebreaker.
Give
game.
them. Is there a website associated with it? People can get better idea of what's going on. Is it best just to go to Amazon and search for it? Like, what's the?
Well, you can go to Amazon and search for it. Resistance Avalon. And I'm pretty sure the Resistance is by Indie Boards and Cards.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
And they suggest 13 and up. It's probably a good one. 5 to 10 players. Plays in about 30 minutes, so you can play a bunch of this in a row, and it just gets louder and louder the more you play it.
It sounds like a riot. I'm all in. Well, all right. That's it then. Dan, tell people where they can follow you when you bring up other cool things online about rad board games and other stuff.
Well, you can check me out at Geek Jock Blog or check out the Geek All Stars podcast. We just released a new episode today.
We got to get you on Current Geek. I was talking to Tom about this earlier, so you and I will talk. We'll get some
Sounds good, man.
Friday
We'd love
evening
it.
thing coming up. It's Dan, everybody. Take it easy, dude. Stay out of trouble.
You guys have a great week.
All right.
Dan.
See you,
Thanks,
man.
Dan.
You know what else is great about Dan?
What's
He's a
that?
man.
He is a pharmacist.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
He is.
the word was coming out wrong. And has amazing advice for people who may have to go get meds there or want to understand the process. He's knows it all. Super
Both
smart.
him and his wife are both pharmacists.
Yep.
We've had him on Nerd Parents. He was amazing.
Yeah, he's great. And his wife was super sweet.
Yep.
She still is. She hasn't gone
Janice.
anywhere. Yeah, Janice is still around. She's still with us. So there's your thing. I gotta turn that freaking music off. All right, let's move on to some news. We don't have a ton of time. We'll tear through these. I like this one right here. Microsoft's planning massive layoffs. I don't like it, but they're doing it. Xbox marketing team will be most likely affected. Some of this is just rumor, but they have not responded to the affirmative or the negative. And if it's true that it's around 5,000 people, it will be their biggest layoff in the company's history. They've never had that many before. Not since 2009 when it was something like 2,000 or 3,000, I forget. And it could affect a bunch of things. This is not all that unexpected, though, because when they purchased Nokia, they also ended up with 30,000 additional employees, and there's a lot of crossover and redundancy and stuff. So them only losing 5,000 after acquiring 30 is actually pretty good. I mean,
have you ever been through a merger with a company?
I have not. I've been around it and seen it, and
weird.
it's ugly and strange and
yeah.
awkward and like it doesn't seem
not fun at all. No, it's not. I've been through one.
It's fun for the big money folk, and that's about it.
Yeah, the executives.
Yeah, and it's usually when you're the employee, you're getting none of that. The dividend is not going to you. So all you
Microsoft's
get
kind of stepping back a little bit on their their embracement of the Xbox as being their future.
Well,
you say?
yeah, I would say. Well, I don't think. Okay, so Xbox has never been that big of a dent in their overall profitability. It's been profitable, but it's never been anywhere near their other divisions. I think internally, like external, we all see it as a big part of their public image. I think internally, Microsoft doesn't see it that way. I think they see the Xbox division as a thing they could spin off and have it run independently, and that it's not, what's it like? It's kind of like, here's what it's like. It'd be like if Google was doing all that Google was doing, but they also had a nice little ice cream stand out front that you could buy ice cream at. It doesn't really make any money, but it's cool to have, and people like it, and it's like that. I think they see it like that, because that kind of money, even though we're talking millions here, is small potatoes for what Microsoft does generally. So I don't know what they're going to do. I still, they've said they're not going to spin that division off, but I still wonder if the future isn't a future where Xbox is its own thing. And not directly run by Microsoft proper. Spin it off in its own company. Anyway, we'll see. What else? I'll skip down here. This NVidia story is interesting. They're readying a new Android PC games machine, and they claim they're just trying stuff. They're experimenting.
Right.
Brian, what are they doing, man? This is weird. Is it a hybrid?
Well, for the last 3 or 4 years, NVIDIA has been trying to figure out a way that they get into the Android market place, and maybe some extend their playability using their video cards and stuff. This is going to be kind of a hybrid. It's going to use your GPU processor on your NVIDIA card if you got one of the new ones. Arg. So it's kind of like the Shield, but it's not, because the Shield was kind of more like the idea of streaming across the wireless network, whereas this you plug in straight to the HDMI cable, what they're talking about so far, and using the GPU processor on the video card to power the game, to power the device.
That's weird. So the CPU is the video card,
right? So yeah. I kind of like that idea, because because I spend a lot of money on my video card, and I would love to be able to use it in a different way. I think it'd be fun. But I don't really think. Do I think this will really take off? No. Yeah. But will I play with it? Sure. Why not? I've been tempted so much to get a Shield. I've been tempted for quite a while now, but just haven't.
I'd be fine getting a Shield if I thought the Shield was
going to be supported and going to go.
Yeah, I feel like they're just experimenting here.
They are.
I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay for that.
But but I like NVIDIA is trying to be innovative. Even if all these projects fail, at least they're taking their R&D money and going, yeah, but what else could we do?
Yeah.
What else could we do?
Yeah.
That's the kind of companies I like.
Buy another boat. Let's see. There's a great PSN deal going on right now. 2-for-1 sale. Pairs up 22 discounted games this week.
Oh, cool.
Is that this week?
Right.
Yeah, it is this week. Hold on. I'm going to look at a couple of these. So, you can get Brothers and How to Survive together. You can get Max Payne 3 and Red Dead Redemption as a joint deal. Metal Gear Solid 5 and Metal Gear Solid, what's that one called? There's the Ground Zero one and then the other one. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You guys have the disc copy, right, of Red Dead Redemption. You guys don't have, the digital copy, right?
Yeah, I have the old disc version. Well,
Yeah.
my daughter has it right now.
This is tempting for me to buy the digital version. This is tempting.
No, you don't want to buy it because you hated it after they did that Halloween thing. You were mad about that.
But I don't have to play that. I don't have to play that. I can get Max Payne 3, which I love, and I have it on my PC. But that's not a bad deal. $9.99.
Nicole,
that's where it starts.
Nicole, remember Max Payne 3? You didn't love that, did you?
I didn't
make
like
you
that game.
sick or something? Or,
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Me.
just poo-pooing on the game Brian likes.
I know, right? You can't
fun of
play
a game.
Red Dead Redemption, and I'm not playing Max Payne.
That's right. NBA Jam on Fire Edition. I can vouch for that being awesome. That was a great game on the PS3. I already own it, though. I already own NFL Blitz as well, but you can get that combo. So it's digital stuff, too. $14.99 for those two. From Dust and I Am Alive for $14.99. Vita owners can pick up Corpse Party and its sequel for $19.99, along with a portable Grand Theft Auto series entries, Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories for $19.99. Both of those are good, by the way. In fact, Liberty City Stories, or is it Vice City? No, it's Liberty City is the one I'm thinking of. Is it? Anyway, if it's the one I think it is, it's the one about Chinatown, I think. Anyway.
Oh, the one about Chinatown, yeah.
That's an awesome GTA game. Maybe my favorite in a long time. I cared more about that than I do about the proper GTA games.
GTA,
yeah.
fried wonton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fried wonton edition.
There's a little racist there.
How is that? How is fried wonton racist?
Only if you're calling a guy that.
You said Chinatown.
Hey, fried wonton, how you doing, buddy? Come on over here. Sidle on up. Let's be pals.
You were making it racist. I was making a food joke.
Yeah. Hey, I can do this. I got a Korean brother. It's always my excuse.
Right.
GameStop has found new life in digital downloads. This feels like propaganda for them because I don't think they're not leading in this space at all. They're not even close.
But they're not. But they're surviving because they were at first they were like no digital games at all. We're not going to do it, and now they're kind of buying into it a little bit. And I think this is going to be the thing that saves them. However, we're probably going to end up with like we saw a lot of brick and mortar stores over the years just disappear and be purchased by somebody, and it'll be all online.
All right,
Circuit City? Can you get like Circuit City stuff still?
You can, no, you're done
Doesn't
with them.
exist.
They're out.
Yeah.
Here's my question and quick poll, Nicole. 10 years from now.
Nicole.
Quick poll, Nicole. 10 years. You know what?
Yes.
5 years, let's say. Does GameStop still exist as a retail store you can walk into in 5 years?
No, I don't think so.
Really, not in 5 years.
I don't.
I think 5 years they're still around.
Have you been to it?
Years,
Have you been to a
our game?
GameSpot?
Let me tell you this: our GameStop in Greenwood, it always has people in it. Plain and simple, it is never. I mean,
that's because the internet down there is cat hair.
Are
and
they
bamboo.
buying? Are they at the cash register?
They are in. They at the.
I go, but I never buy anything.
No, it is insane. They have to run people out of that store at night when they close at 9 o'clock.
That's because there's nothing else going on in Greenville. Here's what I'm going to say about that. If they're around, that sounds terrible. Everything's fine there. But look, if they survive on the strength of your local store alone, fine. But nationally, they're sucking an egg right now. And they're doing this digital thing to save themselves, like you said yourself.
Well, they opened up too many stores. At one point in time, they were really opening too many stores.
I agree with that. They overdid it. They overshot.
They're not still back. Yeah.
I just 5 to 8 years they're out. I just don't see it. If they may still exist in some other way, and maybe if they're strong on this digital stuff, awesome. That'd be wonderful. I just don't know. I just don't know how they do it. Things have changed too quickly.
Well, GameFly's still out there. I mean, you have services like GameFly, and they're digital as well, and it's a rental. You have Redbox now doing games.
Yeah, but they don't have a million stores.
Chipping away.
I would ask if Redbox is going to be around in 5 years.
Well,
that's what I would ask.
Maybe they seem to be doing fine, but they do feel like a stepping stone to something else. But like Netflix, GameFly to some degree. I mean, these are agile companies that can make switches on the fly based on market conditions because they're already, companies that are like online only. They don't have a giant infrastructure of 1 million stores to worry about like Blockbuster did or anybody else. Mm-hmm. And GameStop is basically in the same position Blockbuster's in or was in before they went belly.
The difference is Blockbuster was super rigid, and their policy was always win the customer back by giving them the service short term, give it to them at a super discount, and then 2 years after, kill the program. And so Blockbuster was morons. They were hard headed as can be. I've seen GameStop. They seem to be a little bit more fluid. They seem to kind of morph with what's going on.
Maybe. If your prediction's right, that'll be great. I just don't see how they exist in a brick and mortar world in 5 years.
Right.
So my prediction is this. They will not have stores in 5 to 10 years, but they will be a thing.
They will have kiosks.
They will still exist, and we'll be doing
your
some digital thing maybe.
Because I buy all my games on Amazon. I get the game.
Yes, you do.
On the day of release.
Yeah, but a lot of people do, Brian, is the point. More than they do at GameStop. Nobody's buying them at GameStop.
I'd like to see the numbers.
Especially in this next gen era, people are downloading the damn stuff.
Oh, they are.
You got to remember the last 8 years, you couldn't just get day and date games. Now you can on every platform.
As soon as Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo start going screw you to GameStop, that's when there's going to be trouble.
Well, they're not going to say screw you, but they'll phase out physical stuff because that's just going to go away. It just is. That's the way we're going. If anyone thinks we're not, they are holding on for dear life to an old idea.
10 years, I think there may be a problem. I don't think 5 years will kill them though.
5 years is a long time, dude.
Well, I'll meet you back here in 5 years.
All right, see you then.
Hey, Nicole, remember 5 years ago? when we were
Way
30
back
years
then.
younger.
Yes. We could walk into a GameStop. It was fantastic. All right, we are going. Do we have any content? Do we have games to give away?
Yes, I have so many damn games.
Oh
to
my
give
gosh,
away.
give away some.
I need to clear out my inbox. So, this is for the chat room, and if you're listening and you're on Twitter, if you're not in the chat room, just I'll monitor both. But the first person that tells me they want a specific game, as long as I haven't given it away, I will give it to you. So I want to thank Neff for donating the Sparkle. I want to thank Tomlith for donating Dust, Elise and Tail. We have Coralie that donated 2 games, Gary's Mod, and Shoot Many Robots.
All right, those sound like video games. Those first 2 sounded like fairy dust, but these 2 new ones.
Oh, Coralie also donated Civ 5. Amazing game.
Yeah, it is.
Love Corley. Corley has donated games to me personally.
He donated so many games. Defense Grid, The Awakening. So all these games, by the way, are up for grabs. We have Warlock, who donated Torchlight 2.
Nice.
And finally, we have a game from Starscream owns, Payday, The Heist. Or Josh. His name's Josh.
Nice.
So, yeah. So I'm in the chat room. I'll
Hit
list
Nicole up.
all the games.
Let's
Hit
do
me
this. Let's give away some
Clean
stuff.
out my inbox, please.
Yeah.
These are all Steam keys.
All right, Steam keys it is. Digital games. You can't get a GameStop. Just a reminder.
What is the Sparkle 2? Because I'm kind of interested in that.
Sparkle 2
that sounds...
is... I don't know what that is. I have no idea.
I don't either.
I don't even know what the original Sparkle did. You like Mr. Sparkle? Remember that?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Sparkle.
Mr.
Yeah, from The
Sparkle.
Simpsons.
Yeah, it was one of the best episodes ever made.
They've made throwbacks of that many times.
Yeah, they should. There's a T-shirt with that Mr.
Oh,
Sparkle
this
face
Sparkle,
on it.
this Sparkle 2 looks kind of cool. It's kind of like a, is that like a Zumba? Zumba? What is
Zumba. Roomba? Is it like
Zumba?
a Roomba where it's
Zumba?
vacuuming all
Roomba?
the time?
Yeah.
Roomba? All right, Nicole is taking care of that. While she does, we are going to jump straight into our old school pick of the week, which is right here. Wait a minute, right here.
We're kicking it old school.
It's an old video game, something old, something not new, something you've played, maybe not. Maybe you haven't played it. Maybe you liked it. Maybe you didn't. Doesn't matter. We're doing Planet of the Apes 2001 based on that stupid movie with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Remember that?
I do remember that.
It had a couple, had a couple of good things about it. A couple of things.
Yeah, I saw the new Planet of the Apes this past week, and that's what got me so excited. Because I was like, you know what?
Love that.
There was one scene in the new Apes movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to give it away. But there's one scene that reminded me so much of a video game that I was like, man, if they don't turn this into something,
what was it? What part was it?
I don't want to say because I don't want to give it away. But they'll just say it involves a tank.
Oh, okay. I know what you
involves a
mean.
tank.
I know what you mean.
Right?
Yeah, that was pretty gamey right there.
That was. Pretty
That's an
gamey.
awesome
Pretty cool.
movie. Holy crap, I
Good
loved
shot,
it.
too.
Love that movie.
Love it.
Yeah, it's great. If you're sitting around going, I don't want to see an Apes movie, that sounds dumb. You're lame because that movie's good.
I promise you, unless you accidentally go into the wrong screen, you will not see Marky Mark. Now, if you go into the wrong screen and there's Transformers.
Yeah, if you hear him say,
might
I
see
think we're
Marky
found a Transformer. Old school pick is Planet of the Apes for the PS1. This was 2001. This would have been right around the time the PS2 was heading our way. Planet of the Apes, 2001 action-adventure video game, loosely based on the 1968 film of the same name. It was released to coincide with the remake film. The game was developed by Ubisoft Paris and Visuware Studios and released on the PlayStation and Microsoft Windows platforms. Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance versions were also released, but following the plot and situation of the original 68 film and its 1970 sequel.
Damn dirty apes!
Yeah. It's got a bunch of characters you already know, blah, 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 dumb story. Gameplay sucks. You're in control of Ulysses.
I wrote the gameplay, by the way. They didn't have a gameplay description on Wikipedia.
A human in the ape world, and by control, I mean you can squat, run, and pick up stuff. Too bad you aren't packing a gun under that loincloth, is all Brian's words. Planet of the Apes has received negative reviews from critics. Aggregated website Game Rankings and Metacritic gave PC version 48%. And 41 out of 100 for Game Rankings. It gave the PlayStation version a 60%.
Better than it deserves.
That's better than it deserves. Here's Brian playing it poorly. So here you go, a little audio from that. Let me skip this.
Ape.
Here we go. Well, that's kind of a cool screen, though.
Beep boop beep boop boop
Beep boop beep boop beep. All right, skipping ahead. Okay, don't care. Okay, skipping ahead. Was there any
gameplay's
game?
not until like the last two,
Is it really?
10-minute clip. Yeah, it's like
Oh, wow.
8 minutes worth of sitting through stupid story. Like, come on.
This CGI is shite.
It is horrible.
Wow, dude.
And the characters are so stiff. Even for a game there in 2001, I was like, wow, this is bad.
Look at this horrible stuff. Jiggity jank.
You get to pick up stuff like
Do you remember
notes.
how shaky the old like PS1 polygon stuff was? You forget how bad that was.
Right.
I mean, I'm glad we existed. I mean, it was a stepping stone to a better world, but
I remember there being some really good PS1 games, and this was not one of them.
no. Here you are running. Oh my gosh. This is really bad. All right, I never want to play this.
It's almost Aquaman bad. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty bad. At the very end of that video, I go against an ape who shows up, and needless to say, I lost in very quick order, and I went ahead and quit.
That's not good.
That's it. I'm done.
Note there are no games for this new Planet of the Apes, and I actually think that's a good thing. It's not the kind of movie that even lends itself well to a video game. You're right about the tank, but that's all there is. So there you have it.
Yay!
There's your old school game. Did you sufficiently give out games, Nicole? Are we good?
I still have a few games left. I still have Defense Grid, Civ 5, Shoot Mini Robots, Dust, and Sparkle 2.
All right, Sparkle 2.
Dust.
Get that sequel.
Who isn't asking for Dust?
Everybody asked for Payday. So
Yeah.
That's good.
Wait, is this the old Payday or the new Payday? Payday 1 or 2?
The first one.
it's one.
Oh, look at everybody jumping all over the first one. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's it. The show's over. We're done. Nicole will continue to give those out.
Yes.
Real quick, podcast at finalscoreshow.com is our email address. You can find our website at finalscoreshow.com, on Twitter, TFS Show for the show. Me at Scott Johnson, Brian at the Brian Dunaway, and Nicole at Nicole Spag. Either of you have anything else you want to mention? Anything big, anything cool, anything rad?
Well, of course, Brian always mentions Comics Coast to Coast. Be interviewing tomorrow night, so do check out comicscoasttocoast.com. It's a great podcast.
Yeah. Hey, you know Danielle was in Salt Lake yesterday.
Was she really?
Yeah, she's doing a tour for her book, and she was the Mill Creek Library. I was going to go by there, but I had too much going on. And she's been on your show, hasn't she? Or should be if she hasn't.
Yes, she has. Yes, she has.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
I can't remember what episode, but it was one of the many over 200 episodes of great Comics Coast to Coast.
I've been on a couple of those. It's good times.
Nicole,
anything from you? You do anything cool?
New Ladies Elite.
Yeah.
In fact, we even did a spoiler for The Wolf Among Us at the very, very end. So we talked about all three of us had played all 5 episodes. So if you want to, we dig deep into the story at the very end of the latest Ladies Elite.
That's what the Ladies of Elite do. They dig deep. Dig deep. So go check that out. That's it for us. Thank you guys all for being here and being a part of the show. You guys are what make it awesome. You can find more, like I said, on the web. Check us out on our Facebook page /Final Score Show. Our Steam community group is at steamcommunity.com/group/Final Score Show. We got Minecraft servers. We got all kinds of games going all the time. A great community is waiting for you. It's going to do it for us, for me, for Brian and Nicole. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to hang up on everyone, but Nicole can't leave yet
Okay.
because I want to hear this thing. So hold on. Chat room, I'm kicking you out. There's some big news. You're going to have a Johnson pulled on you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so
Sorry.
let me kill audio first, then video.